Hey, how's everybody doing? Got my DeWalt toolbox here. Wanted to show you guys what I have inside. So it's a $24 box DeWalt sells. It comes with the snapping system if you wanted to build them up or whatnot, but just want to show you guys. I see a lot of people doing these shed to cabin, tiny home things, and a lot of people have questions about solar. So I'm not the foremost expert, but I have done solar on my property. I have 18 500-watt panels, and I have a 48-volt system. This is a 12-volt system. These are EVE cells, EVE cells. They're same as cattle CATL, grade A cells, good for up to 8,000 charges, which, do the math. You do one charge a day, one cycle they call it, but charge it up one time a day. Do the math, over 8,000. It's years and years and years, and that's just before the degradation, before they start degrading. But they're very good. This whole system here cost me about $700. Now, if you go buy one of those Eco-Worthies or the other brands, Jackeries, you're going to get less watt hours, and a lesser of a system, and pay 3-4 times more. So these are 315 amp hour batteries. They tested at 327. So I have 327 amp hours, roughly about 4,000 watt hours of power. What does 4,000 watt hours of power mean? It means if you have a 100 watt light bulb, you can run it for 40 hours, no problem. This is a 2,000 watt inverter. It's a Sylvia. I keep all the stuff next to it. Decent little inverter. Yes, it's janky. I just cut the side of the box for the ports there. 2,000 watt with 2 plugs, and you can put splitters on there if you want, Y splitters. I have a nice fuse. You don't want to skimp out on that. Get yourself a nice fuse. This thing actually was very expensive. I was surprised when I paid $80 for this fuse. You can go other ways. Victron makes a cheap fuse. The inverter has a screen here, and over here I have a JK 200 amp BMS. This whole system, perfect. I had it on my 30 amp RV, and it ran everything at night that I needed it to, and some of the stuff during the day. And then, like I said, for my RV, I have a 44-foot fifth wheel, and I have a 48-volt system for this. This whole setup is going to be going to my son's shed to cabin that he's has coming to the property next week. We're going to start building our property up. We have a foundation going for our cabin, so but this little setup right here, $700. You pay for the 4 individual cells, which is 12S, and 12 volt 4S, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you hook it up to the BMS and get some nice 4-aught wire, and you're good to go. This whole system, $700. It'll outdo a Jackery all day long. I'm actually going to be changing this thing up a little bit, and let's see if I can't turn on the inverter. There we go. So now the inverter's on. Here's the on and off switch on the side if I wanted to turn it off. And let's see what's going on here with the inverter. There we go, that's why. Switch was in the off position. So now the inverter's on. It'll take a second. 13.3 volts, so it's almost fully charged. 122 volts, which is 120. You can change it to 110, 120, and then leave the backlight on at all times, but I'm not pulling any watts. Everything's happy. See the smiley face? Everything's happy. But this whole setup, like I said, you can plug in space heaters, TVs, whatnot. Think about a space heater. It's 1,500 watts, right? For on high, big space heater, you have 500 watts left. This thing will do 4,000 watts as a peak. But, you know, put your space heater on low, run some TVs, charge some phones, some lights. You're good to go, this whole system. I'm actually upgrading it for him. I got this one here, Tellaway, and this one had great reviews. A lot of people on YouTube were reviewing it. I like this one because it is Bluetooth. I'd rather have the Bluetooth so I can set it 3,000 watt instead of 2,000 with a 6,000 peak. It's got a little screen on it, but everybody said this thing just hums along. It does a good job. It's got, the wires are not great, I don't think, but they have like 3 8-gauge wires. I guess that's to try to make 2-aught, or 1-aught actually. But yeah, we got this. I got 200 foot of wire, PV wire, 10 gauge. That's all you need. And we're going to be putting up 8 panels for him for this little system. And that'll charge this in the morning by 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, especially with that much. But if you were to just get, you know, 400 watt panels, try to get the higher wattage because you're going to have less of a footprint. If you get 400 watts that are this size compared to one that's this size, it's just not worth it for the footprint. You want a smaller footprint. But the BMS, JK BMS, I love it. There's an app that goes with it, makes it so easy. It comes with, like I said, that plug there, and it just works every time. It just no problems. There's 2 amp balancing on it. I always keep extra fuses in here for the inverter. Here's extra fuses for my PV system, solar system, and then extra BMS just in case. You never know. That's the one thing that will go out eventually is your BMS, and it's good to have a backup. So if you guys want to see this whole system running, let me know. And if you want to know where to get the cells at for cheap, let me know. I can get them, or I know a place you can get them for about $100 a piece. So $400. You got 200 in the inverter, and then 100 for the BMS, and then, you know, this, but around $700, and you have a kick butt system. So in the winter, this thing stayed extremely warm because of the inverter. The fans are back here. I usually keep it open a little bit, or I have a vent down here at the bottom cut out. But yeah, I mean, it works. It just works. So if anybody's interested, let me know, and I'll get you all the information you need. This thing weighs about 120 pounds, so you don't want to carry it around on your back, but it works very nice, and it's not that heavy. Put it in a closet, forget about it. This thing won't fit inside the box anymore, but you know, you don't have to have it in the box, just have it sitting out. 4,000 watt hours is pretty good. So you guys stay blessed, stay healthy, and catch me for the next one when I throw all this together. Thanks, guys.